Yo, what is good, my quick crypto family and my coin factory family? We're back again with another daily Casper and crypto live stream. And earlier today, we had indirect, but in my opinion, direct confirmation that we are not going into a recession, that we are on the literal cusp of the next leg up for crypto, for Casper, and the next leg of the bull cycle is very close now. Of course, Casper is still down, 60% give or take? 52% even from all-time highs. It's still quite a far cry away from all-time highs, but I'm optimistic we'll see Casper rise to all-time highs. If I was to give a prediction, I'd say in the first half of this year, so sometime between now to the end of June, I think we could possibly see Casper return to all-time highs. It sounds crazy, but I'll get into why I believe so in this video today. Or not video, even the stream even. I'll be releasing a video later today as well, where we'll be going into a bit more on that as well. And yeah, the macro news right now looks extremely bullish and does have a lot of people now wandering eyes, looking at whether the Fed are going to shock everybody in the FOMC meeting in 5 days' time on the 7th of May. Personally, I'm not expecting anything surprising to happen, but I'm expecting Jerome Powell to be at least very, very hawkish, which is just basically meaning he's going to be more optimistic for what's coming and potentially then for issuing some good stimulus packages for America. A lot more to cover in this stream as always, so if you enjoy, feel free to leave a like, helps out more than you know, share with your friends and subscribe for more. And welcome back, Uncle Wizard Brother. Hope you're doing very, very well. And everyone else tuning in right now, hope you're on a very, very good day so far. Happy Friday and looking forward to the weekend, no doubt. So to start off with, we're going to get into a bit of the macro news first before we get into a bit of the Casper news as well. The first source comes here from the non-farm payroll, the unemployment data, which came in today. The unemployment did come in at 4.2%, which is as expected, but that's actually only, at the same level because the unemployment mainly has come from the governmental positions. This information, just for those who are aware, I did let my community know who are part of the VIP group. They knew ahead of time what is incoming. So I made a post as soon as it was announced in the VIP group. So you want to find out ahead of time, and equally on occasions just in here in general, alongside weekly live streams, trading information, alpha information, educational videos, and so much more we provide in there. wop.com/coin-factory. You've got a free trial there. You can check it out for free as well. Link down in the description, also on my homepage here as well. But with that being said, segue aside, I did let my community know earlier today that we have received the same unemployment percentage. There's no expected change. Like, it was unchanged. We still had 4.2% unemployment, so it was unchanged. But it was actually not a bad thing because the payroll employment rose to 177,000. So 177,000 jobs were added in April, which is very, very big, above the 138,000 expected. That is really, really bullish news. We saw last month an extra 82,000 more jobs added, in this month an extra 40,000 added. So evidently we're seeing stronger signs that the economy is, growing in regard to the, actual economy as opposed to the governments themselves controlling the economy like it has been for a while. And therefore we're seeing it grow more and more. However, the financial economy is still relatively stagnant, which could lead everyone now to believing that Jerome Powell is going to start cutting rates soon. That's why everyone right now is very bullish for this incoming FOMC meeting. If I am being transparent, which I always try to do, then I do see Bitcoin right now, which is doing fantastic, above 96k. I do see Bitcoin probably making a move towards, let's just say, the next level of resistance seems to be around 100k, give or take. So I see Bitcoin making a sort of move towards 100k, maybe towards the FOMC meeting in 5 days' time. And then I expect to see a lot of resistance there. And maybe we see a rejection and coming back a little bit before we then make a significant breakthrough and then push towards its all-time highs and then some. The M2 supply suggests as much as well. We'll see a small pullback soon, and then we'll see it rally going towards the end of the month into June and going into July as well. But this here is very, very reassuring and bullish news, and confirmation more so that we are not in a recession. Because remember, a few days back we covered that we had the information come through from the first quarter of 2025 where we saw, for the first time in 3 years since 2022 Q1, we saw negative GDP growth. That is bad, because that is early warning signs of a recession. If you get 2 back-to-back quarters of negative GDP, that is confirmation that you're in a recession. So we had a negative GDP, that's bad, but the markets held up really, really well. You know, we had that negative GDP around here, and look, Bitcoin didn't really move much at all. In fact, it's up since we got the announcement. And now we've had an on-farm payroll and jobs that are actually higher than expected. It's evidently not a sign that we're going into a recession. We're seeing more jobs being added. So the only, downside right now is that there's not enough, money, circulating in the economy right now. Is a bit stagnant, which means the way to stop the stagnation is to start cutting rates and printing money. But right now, Jerome Powell's still going to be probably taking the tariffs into account. So I think personally, this next FOMC meeting, we're not going to see anything drastic. Some hawkish announcements, hopefully, but nothing drastic. And then we will end up seeing the inflation data coming out on the 13th of May. Some other macro news as well. And then leading into June, hopefully we'll end up seeing Jerome Powell start taking the initiative to start printing money. And we'll see this M2 supply go much higher than it already is. It's looking very good so far. Very, very good indeed. And if you see it go higher, right now, this is where the M2 supply is at right now. It says Bitcoin's going to reach 130k, give or take. Of course, not 100% accurate, but still a decent indicator. And if we see United States, in my belief, inevitably start cutting rates, we'll see that M2 start going up much, much higher as well. And that is just, again, following macro news and, money in the economy. When you start thinking about how much more of that capital is going to cycle into crypto very soon through regulatory frameworks, which we have confirmation in this stream about as well, there's a good chance Bitcoin goes higher than we all expect. I'm still playing conservative around a 130, 150k Bitcoin, but again, I'm also playing reactionary, which means if we get there, I'll be happy. It's where I want to go to, but I'm not necessarily going to take my whole bags out then. I'll play reactionary and see where the markets are going to be going from there. If it looks like it's going up higher, best believe I'm holding on for dear life, and I'll keep going up as well. So that is great to see that this data comes through very, very bullish. And equally, I let my community know, the VIPs, some other very bullish macro factors that came on today that also was reassuring, which also coincided to the belief that, again, we're not going to get a recession. If you want to know about that, then again, you've got to check out the VIP groups. Link down below in the description, also my homepage as well. But things are looking up right now for the markets, hence why Bitcoin right now is up 1.3%. And equally, Kaspa is up 4.3%, which is really, really good to see. Once more, I did state that for me, confirmation, absolute confirmation we're in a next leg of the bull run, or Kaspa's bull run at least, is when we surpassed here. As much as we already had a double bottom down here, which is great, and we surpassed this, lower high here by going up here. For me, this is, the 10, 11 cents, between the 9 to 11 cents zone is like being typically the very, very strong level of support for Kaspa for years, all the way back here. You can see all the way back here, this has been a critical zone for Kaspa. Obviously, this is a very, wide zone. It's more so 10 cents and 9 cents, to be honest. More so this area here, that is the more critical zone for Kaspa. But as we did see a peak here, my hope is that we can break above this again, as we did see it rise to 11 cents recently, and then get rejected, coming back down in accordance to that fib retracement graph that I drew up a while back as well. You can see, did say we're going to kind of get rejected, hopefully find support at the 8.7, which we did, and now we're seeing a nice look of a reversal. Provided we continue going in this fashion, we'll start seeing Kaspa hopefully push above, and if you do push above this 11 cents here, with 10 BPS incoming, with smart contracts incoming, stablecoins incoming, all of that I'm going to get into this video as well, and this stream as well, we could see the confirmation of the next Kaspa leg up, and hopeful that we see Kaspa end up making some serious moves. We've seen how quickly Kaspa can pump in value in the past, looking at this part here, looking at even way back here as well, and equally other parts Kaspa can pump very quickly in value. And with what are coming for catalyst wise, we could see Kaspa potentially jump to all-time highs in the next couple of months. As much as that's speculative, I don't think it's out of the realm possibility seeing Kaspa jump to its all-time high, say 2x from here in the next, by the end of June, first half of the year. and that'll also allow these memes as well to start gaining more traction as well. Nacho, Kango, Kaspa, Wolfie, you know, all the other ones that are very prevalent that are, you know, Wolfie did fantastic recently. It's come back a bit. Well, market cap wise, it's mainly just fallen off a lot in volume. But market cap wise, it's still, you know, it's gained a lot of market cap now. 1.3 million, which is good for it. I do hold some Wolfie. And that's not me trying to shit it at all. You can get it if you want to. I think Wolfie's a good project. I mean, it's based in London. It's a bar. So, like, it kind of also coincides with me being based in London as well. But I love Nacho. I think Nacho's a very, very solid meme as well. Kango's solid. Kaspa, Gold. You know, there's many more I plan to pick up more so as the markets start to make a strong recovery. And with Kaspa making a strong recovery, with therefore tier 1s on the horizon, we'll end up seeing these start to rally and get listings as well. So, you know, things are looking good in that regard. And that's only just covering the surface once again of what's to come. I'm going to answer some questions real quickly and then we'll get into more of the macro news, stuff like this video here. And then another video that Cody put in earlier from, Cody put it in from the president and CEO of Charles Schwab, Rick Worcester, who made an announcement, I believe on CNBC, where he basically just, you know, gave a lot of bullish optimism about the sort of inflow in belief and adoption they're seeing with crypto right now with their crypto services. So we're going to see a lot more in that regard as well. So, you know, I'm going to be covering that as well and just once more showcasing that things right now look like they're on the up. And I think we're going to see a massive, maybe a kind of one more fake out. And then we're going to see a blow off top going into July, August time in particular. And then we could see a good few months of just bullishness, altcoin rally as well. And then we'll have to see where it goes from there. But let me get some questions real quickly first before I do so. How high price can be in 2025? If you're referring to crypto, and well, if you're referring to anything, I don't know. I try to avoid price predictions because I think it is, yeah, it's just not something I like doing. Because again, it brings too much heat on my back and equally can create false expectations. All I can do is just give you some form of analysis of what's happening, and based on support zones, like right now, I can say I think Bitcoin's going to get rejected at 100k because of the support zones, and based on other catalysts and stuff like that, it does suggest Bitcoin's going to rise to 130, 150k, maybe even higher than that as well. For Kaspa, I cannot tell you because Kaspa is a unique project. It's hard to compare to anything else. I believe Kaspa's going to pass all-time highs at the very, very minimum, and even then, that's absolute worst case. Kaspa surpasses all-time highs. And I think you can go leaps and bounds above that as well. How high? You got to decide for yourself. Because, I mean, everyone has their own predictions, right? Some people, right now, everyone's very, very bearish, saying only 35 or 50 cents Kaspa. And that's, I think very possible. It could definitely go higher as well. I'm not going to say how high because I don't know. But it could definitely go a lot higher. Welcome back, Greg, brother. Hope you're doing very, very well. Happy Friday to you too, my man. Having a very, very good day so far. What's up, brother? Hey, bro, what do you think about Zeal? I have not looked much more into Zeal. Obviously, I heard the whole pre-sale thing around the time and how there's a little bit of heat between them and Kaspa.com now because of the whole, Zeal trying to do the pre-sale twice and Kaspa.com going down, and seemingly it's been unveiled that there was some form of DDoS or attack happening around the time of the pre-sale on 2 occasions. Now, whether it was legit, whether it was Zeal doing it to try and undermine Kaspa.com, I still don't know. And I want to see everything just kind of do well, everyone to be working together, so I don't want to put down anybody in particular. I've not checked out Zeal at all, so I don't know how good they are. I have checked out Kaspa.com. I do use them, and I do love their website. It's very, very easy and good to use. So yeah, I'm not making an opinion on that. I have not checked it out, so I don't really know right now, unfortunately for you. But I will see if I can find some more answers over the coming days and weeks with the layer 2 soon to be coming out. I'm sure everyone wants to know my opinions on what I think is trustworthy. I can give my opinion, and I will do, but always do your own research to try and devise your own decision, because then what I believe may not be what you believe as well. Welcome back, LB, bro, on the check-in. Hope you're doing very, very well, brother. And you too, all in. Hope all is good. Hope you have a great Friday. I plan to, my brother. Thank you very much again. You too, Falco. Welcome back, my man. DC, early today. Yeah, it's very, very early today. That's because I am meant to be busy later tonight, and I thought better still getting some content out there as opposed to just completely ignoring and not doing a stream today. Still get your daily Kaspa and crypto FOMO. With that being said, I'm going to play a snippet from this interview here. Welcome back, Magnus, brother. Hope you're doing very well, my man. From Republican French Hill regarding the stablecoin and market structure bills for digital assets. And what is important here, while you're going to listen to the last half of this, for me what's important is the timeline to which he says that Trump wants to have these bills in his office, on his table by August, which therefore, and they're doing their utmost to try and stick to that timeline. Therefore, there's a very, very good chance we're going to see regulatory frameworks being implemented in August, and therefore that being a key market top indicator. A lot of liquidity is likely going to flood in very quickly around that time. ETF launching as well. All of that we'll get into. Listen very closely to this segment of this panel, if you will.
We marked up our version of that bill, the Stable Act, in the House a couple of weeks later. We tried to harmonize those drafts as closely as we could, and the House bill also got bipartisan support. If we think that the future of global payments is going to have a tokenized payment on a blockchain rail, then you need a dollar-backed stablecoin under U.S. law, under U.S. supervision, with high standards of quality and disclosure and auditing to set the global standard that I think will really improve the trust in that product. Secondly, if I have a dollar-backed stablecoin, all I have is an item. I have a tokenized payment concept, but where would you use it? How would you store it? How would Barclays serve as a custodian for it? How could someone use it to buy a digital asset or a regular asset out in the marketplace? And so the second bill that we're working on with the Senate, with Senator Lummis from Wyoming, Senator Gillibrand from New York, Senator Scott, our great chairman in the Senate, and our team in the House, including my good friend Brian Stile from Wisconsin, is a market framework bill. We passed this last summer. It was called Fit for Purpose, the Fit 21 Act. Got 71 Democratic votes across the House floor. Very bipartisan. We're going to essentially take on that market regulatory framework bill here in the month of May, and we will work to pass that bill. These two bills are essential to be passed. President Trump has asked us to put both of these bills on his desk before the August recess, and we're working mightily on a bicameral basis, on a bipartisan basis, and working with David Sachs, Donald Trump's artificial intelligence and digital asset advisor, to get this done, and we're going to get it done.
So there, very, very big news, of course, talking about trying to get a stablecoin bill out there, and also then create a market structure bill so you can actually have the regulatory frameworks for trading said stablecoins, and that Trump wants the people in charge to have these bills on his desk by August. So that leads me to believe that we're going to start seeing a lot of FOMO momentum leading into the second half of the year in July, and then potentially seeing these bills. I mean, again, they could be implemented earlier. They're going to probably run straight up to the deadline of August, but therefore we're going to see a lot more momentum coming through July, August time, ETF filings, more institutional capital flooding in very, very quickly. We've seen Charles Schwab, we've seen Morgan Stanley and many other massive financial institutions that manages trillions of dollars making crypto services more known and saying they're going to launch them in the next year. In that regard, I'm going to play this segment of the interview here from the Discord server with Charles Schwab, where Charles Schwab says here, ultimately what is coming and the sort of adoption they're seeing right now in crypto as well. So those who aren't a part of the free Discord server, links down below in the description, also my homepage as well. If you are part of it, you might have seen this already, but either way, listen very closely because it's very, very important.
24 by 5. The activity we see in 24 by 5 tends to be retail investors, and there is a predominance of non-U.S. clients. That's where we've seen the activity so far.
So moving gears to Donald Trump again, he has definitely vowed to be the crypto president, and we have already seen some moves to sort of roll back some of the harsher or tougher regulation on crypto. You have signaled your intentions to get bigger in crypto. Talk to me about what your latest, sort of crypto business looks like and where you see things going.
We think we're the premier destination for investors interested in investing in crypto. We custody the most crypto ETF assets in the industry. We are working on a plan to launch spot crypto in the next 12 months, ideally this year, but in the next 12 months. We have lots of ways for clients to get invested in crypto. They can buy the ETFs, and again, we're the #1 destination for doing that. They can buy Bitcoin futures. They can buy closed-end funds, which track the price changes of crypto. So there's lots of ways to get invested, and we have education around that. And what we saw in the fourth quarter of last year, when there was a real uptick in interest in crypto, is we saw a 400% increase in the traffic to our crypto site at Schwab. 70% of those people were prospects. And so what that says to me is that when clients become interested in crypto and they've learned more about it, the first place they want to turn is Schwab, because they trust us and they know we'll give them unbiased advice and that they can keep their assets safe with us.
Well, how do you get to spot crypto given the regulation?
Now, there is more that was, discussed in this 2.5-minute interview, but again, I just want to listen to the whole thing. Check out the Quick Crypto or Coin Factory free Discord server. That's not even a part of the paid one there. That was Cody putting it in the free one. Shout out to Cody. But the key part for me to take away from that segment there is, again, Charles Schwab, while, we as a collective, I'm sure, being Kaspa holders, we don't really trust any centralized authority as expected. But for the most part, the general consensus, the general public do trust these institutions. The reason why it's been such a hard, barrier to get adopted into crypto is because there's a lack of trust, a lack of regulatory frameworks. And as you just heard from Charles Schwab, when they've seen a 400% increase in, traffic and adoption for retail crypto, and they turn to Charles Schwab because they trust them. So once you get regulatory frameworks put in place and you see more institutions start offering crypto services, just think about how much more adoption we're going to see in crypto from the retail side and equally institutional capital flooding in as well. That's again just a little snippet of what is to come for us. That's why there are predictions that are coming out, like this one here. Bitcoin price forecast for 2025 range between $122,000 to $700,000 according to major banks, investors and funds. Most estimate fall between 200k to 250k, with BlackRock's 700k target assuming 2 to 5% of individual portfolios allocated to Bitcoin. I am not that bullish. I think 700k Bitcoin would be a dream, a literal dream. And if that's the case, then hell, Kaspa reaches $10. I'll say that right here and now. I don't do price prediction, but if Bitcoin reached 700k, Kaspa reaches $10. For perspective, 700k Bitcoin, right? 700k Bitcoin would be a $14+ trillion market cap. $14 trillion market cap. So, can Kaspa therefore reach the 250 billion being $10? If you see a 14 trillion market cap in just Bitcoin, that would be therefore probably about a 25 trillion in crypto, 25 trillion crypto market cap. Can Kaspa get 0.1% of the total crypto market cap at that point? But again, that is complete moon boy, 700k Bitcoins, $10 Kaspa. That's very, very moon boy, and for me, quite unrealistic. But the principle here is that there's still a lot of belief, a lot of very strong targets. For me, I'm probably on the lower end. I'm still aiming probably towards where GFO X survey are saying 150k is probably more so my target. Worst case would be around 130k. And of course, these smart money individuals, there's a good possibility they're also trying to pump the bags and the FOMO everybody so they can then use you with exit liquidity to then get back in the bear. Again, there's too many mind games going on, and the smart money always wins. So, they definitely know what they're doing in this regard. But the sentiment we're hearing from Charles Schwab, from Republican French Hill, from institutions, is that they desperately want access to crypto. And once they get clear rules of the road, they are going to ape their trillions of dollars of capital into this market. So while I've been talking more recently about the M2 supply, and again, it's not an indicator to live by. I might have been using it too much recently as well, but it's still important to understand how much money there is currently circulating in our economy. M2 supply right now for Bitcoin does state we're looking at what, a 130k give or take by now, with more QE and rate cuts coming from the Fed in due time. You'll probably see it go up higher as well. My predictions have always been these zones here, 180 being more so very bullish and 130 being kind of the lower case. That's in Bitcoin, but again, I won't know. No one's going to know until we see how the markets unfold. But the M2 is an indicator of money in the economy. Once you see regulatory frameworks, there's a good chance a lot of the capital that's been kind of just sitting there on their balance sheets will be put into crypto, especially as we're getting closer and closer to seeing strategic Bitcoin reserves coming out. Very, very close now. I had Senator Lummis talking about adding another $1 million or 1 million Bitcoin to the reserve, which is absolutely nuts. So if that comes to fruition, then Bitcoin and crypto is going to go a lot higher as well. So there's a lot of very bullish catalysts, and equally, this is kind of the icing on the cake here. Until we get official confirmation, it's kind of just noise, but this is still, as a headline, very bullish. China quietly exempts tariffs on $40 billion worth of US goods. You know, that is good to see, truth be told. So things are looking very, very strong in the macro side of things, and, you know, equally, Kaspa, I think it's in a very strong position to start seeing a significant rally, maybe an all-time high in the next 2 months before July. That's currently where my head is at. Of course, not financial advice. Do your own research. Don't be emotional. Be logical. My information, my sources suggest to me that after Kaspa being suppressed for so long, if we do see Kaspa break above 11 cents, that'll be confirmation of us being in a bullish uptrend now for Kaspa. And based on their incoming catalyst, the stablecoins coming through very soon, the 10 BPS, the smart contracts launching very soon. The fact that if we go into a bullish uptrend in the whole market as well, that could also be the time that Binance and other tier ones decide to list Kaspa, because they're evidently waiting for continued momentum. Because again, think about it. If you're an exchange that's buying an asset to launch it, instead of being given the token that they've done with every other asset, they're buying Kaspa to launch it. The last thing they want is to announce the listing, buy the rumor, sell the news, and they lose money on the listing. That's not what we want to do. So they're going to want to launch it when the price is going to pretty much go up higher, higher, and higher. So they want to launch it when there's a lot of momentum in the market. If Kaspa's going up and the price is 20 cents, and then the market's still going through a massive heated rally, it's still going up higher, and then Binance list it, it's going to just do higher. You might see a small pullback as you expect, but it wouldn't be a sell the news. It'd be a small pullback to another bullish momentum going upwards. So with those catalysts in mind and much more that I haven't even addressed just yet, I think Kaspa is due for a very, very big rally. I think the worst has come now. And if you do break 11 cents over the next 2-3 weeks, if we manage to break 11 cents next 2-3 weeks, worst case by the end of May, and I still think we'll go a lot higher anyways, then yeah, I'm looking for Kaspa to make some very big rallies going towards the end of the first half of the year. Welcome back, my brother. Hope you're doing very, very well. Getting ready as you should be. Bingo bango. Finally back to the old time, if only for a day. Yeah, I do remember I used to do this time I used to go live at this time every single day. And then I had people, and then I did a poll in my Discord server asking who preferred what time, and the poll majority vote went to 4 hours later. That's why I started doing it around then. I prefer doing it this time as well, because, you know, for one, it forced me to wake up early and also gives me more time in the day. Because when I do my streams normally, it's 8 p.m. So normally when I do my streams, and then I'm doing my other elements of work, I'm up to like sometimes 4 or 5 a.m. Which, to be fair, I'm just in the American market for the most part, and you guys are like 5 hours behind me. So for you guys, it's probably about midnight. So it's not that damaging, but for at least for my social life, it can be. But I do prefer this time. But until the people decide me to do this time, otherwise I'll be doing the usual time for the most part. But again, if I ever change the timing, I'll make an announcement in my public Discord server, which you go check out the links to in the description, homepage, alongside having a community we can chill chat, learn more about crypto and Kaspa, and equally the VIP group, even more detail about what is to come, institutional insights, educational research, and much, much more, even experienced traders giving their insight on the markets as well. Find out more there as well, link down below in the description, also on my homepage, wop.com/Quantum Factory. Welcome back, Israel, brother. Hope you're doing very, very well, and you too, Kryptoni, glad you are here. Welcome back, my man. Hope you're having a very, very good day so far. What's up, Jayski? Are you suggesting a July cycle top, then bear market? Not exactly, no. When I say cycle top indicator, I mean that that the regulatory framework bills are indicators of it, if you're seeing the cycle starting to rally up, cycle top indicator, I mean it's going to start doing like that. So once you get those regulatory frameworks coming through, there's a good possibility you see the market go absolutely ballistic for like a month or two. And then, as you tend to see in the last cycle as well, when Bitcoin made its all-time high back here in November 2021, as you look at Bitcoin dominance as well, Bitcoin dominance here is a similar time frame. All the way back here, we can see November 2021 was around here. So it came down quite a lot. So you're going to see Bitcoin rally up a lot higher. And once you see Bitcoin rally up a lot higher, then the next thing to take into account, Bitcoin will probably still continue to rally up because institutions start buying into it. But then you can start seeing Bitcoin dominance fall off. And then you see the alts start to rally. Alts won't necessarily rally right down here. For Solana, for example, didn't rally till here. Solana started rallying here. So you had a whole May, June, July, August. You had 3 months Bitcoin dominance being below 50% before Solana started rallying. So you might see a lot of bullish momentum if we get regulatory frameworks and a lot of, positive macro factors, QE rate cuts, that sort of stuff as well. If you see that coming through, you'll probably start seeing a lot of momentum coming through in July, and then the regulatory framework bills being the market top indicators, meaning you're going to start seeing increased momentum, and then the Bitcoin dominance will eventually fall off, and then alts, Kaspa, Sui, Tau, XRP, these assets, Hedera, HBAR, Algorand, these ones will start rallying as well. Memes will probably start rallying. The good memes will start rallying as well. Turbo could be I think Turbo probably is going to rally up again. It's done fantastic actually since its bottom down here. Come up, 4x or so in value since. And it's going to probably return to all-time highs as well. Of course, you got in the very top here then, like what happened way back when. Then that is, unfortunately, it did come down 90%. But that's a problem with memes. Again, high risk, high reward. But Kaspa, for me, Kaspa is due for have a big rally. And I think I'm starting to have a bit more, and again, trying to remain grounded, remain logical. I'm having a slightly more belief continuously now of there being a more similar AVAX type blow off top of Kaspa. And again, this is just purely my sentiment. This is not me saying it's going to happen. But when you look at AVAX right now, you look at its first cycle, it was at a similar sort of price target. 2 bill market cap. Kaspa right now is at 2.5 bill. So they're very, very similar in that regard. AVAX was a 2 bill market cap down here in July 2021 when dominance was just coming off. And then it jumped in this span of 5 months from July to 30 billion. Took 5 months, July, August, September, October, November, December, peaked at 30 billion. So I'm starting to believe in what's coming through this. The fact that you've got the Ethereum virtual machines, so Ethereum-like smart contracts coming out in the next month or so. Stablecoins coming out. The stablecoin opcos coming out in 3 days' time with 10 BPS. And the stablecoins actually launching probably sometime in the next month or two as well, I'd imagine. Then you have the ZK opcos, so native smart contracts on Kaspa coming out sometime in Q3, worst case Q4. You have then Dagonite potentially coming out in Q4, as Microsoft seems to speculate as well. So if we have all of that coming out and then tier 1 listings as well, good possibility Kaspa can then jump leaps and bounds in value and make a very, very big rally in my personal belief. Again, there's nothing wrong with having a more bearish or more conservative prediction. Everyone's predictions are their own, and I'm not saying exactly where Kaspa is going to go. The comparison to AVAX I think is quite canny right now. I think Kaspa has had a very long struggle and it's burnt out a lot of the paper handlers, and even those who are still holding it now, a lot of them want to sell around here or even around here once they've made a bit of profit or they've broken even because they just don't want to be in Kaspa anymore. And once that hurdle's gone through, and equally the hurdle around here as well, I think you potentially could see a very, very good run, just kind of very, very strong at that point, like AVAX did, doing much more bullish. Like from here, went from 12 to 27, a 2x from October 21st to November, from October 20th to November. So in a span of a month, you saw it jump 2x, but that's a 12 bill to 27 bill market cap. So it's a huge run, and I think that's a possibility of Kaspa as well. Just going through a big run. I'm still optimistic that Kaspa going to do very, very well. And that's not even touching on the KRI as well, and the fact that they're going to be launching their own institutional project with Kaspa this cycle, with ZK opcos coming out as well. The fact that institutions are here makes this cycle much harder to predict. It's very hard to predict the cycle because institutions have a lot more capital. You can see how wayward these predictions are. So wayward. 250k, 250k, 500k, 180, 122, 150, 700. For the most part, it seems to be more so around 200, as highlighted here, but they're so wayward. They're so wayward. And of course, not a lot of their attention is on Kaspa, but you've got to think about it as well. it's not like Casper doesn't got attention. You've got ETPs of Valor funds. They're working like they're kind of partnered with Zodia. They've got Marathon who are mining Casper, and equally they're upgrading to the new Crescendo hard fork as well. So they're still bullish on Casper. They still have belief in Casper at least if they're upgrading to the Crescendo hard fork. So that's reassuring. And again, it goes back to this interview here from Fred Thiel, the CEO of Marathon, where he stated when Forbes asked, it's hard to ascertain real discernible use for Casper beyond just people mining it and then sending it back and forth. He stated that Casper as a technology is very interesting. It's a web chain versus a blockchain. It's web of blocks versus a linear line of blocks, and Casper has very fast transaction speed. So he already acknowledges that Casper is really strong in regards to what it's meant to be on, which is speed. And you'll see the use case coming out very soon with the smart contracts and stablecoins coming out as well. And then that might drive more demand and adoption to Casper, and therefore see Marathon get more involved as well. Hence why they're still mining and increasing to Crescendo as well. So, and of course, Marathon, they work alongside BlackRock, and Jane Street, and all the other massive Vanguard, all the other massive Wall Street institutions as well, who like basically run the world from the shadows. So, in that regard, Casper is not by any means unknown. It's probably been ignored. But again, I still think Casper's going to do well because KRI are going to bring the institutional use case to Casper straight away. So yeah, I still think but you're going to see more capital come into it. And then again, the other part I highlighted in a previous video of mine as well is that Bitcoin maxis more and more are starting to recognize Casper as well. So Bitcoin maxis, who end up going into alt cycle, some of them may end up deciding to diversify their Bitcoin holdings into the only thing they do trust now, which is Casper. So you might see some of that Bitcoin capital going straight into Casper, therefore. That's also speculative, but that's based on the sources I've seen with Bitcoin maxis who have continuously started showcasing more support of Casper. People with millions of followers on Twitter, even Da Vinci Jeremy highlighting it recently as well, that he thinks Casper may not do fantastic this cycle, which I personally disagree, but each to their own. But he thinks Casper will do very well in the future. He didn't say it before. He used to hate Casper. Now he thinks he's going to do well in the future. So he's changed his mindset a little bit. I think it's a very commonality with a lot of the Bitcoin maxis going forward as well, as they see what Casper's building and the fact that they are still sticking true to the principles of Nakamoto. I wonder if Casper will ever reach mainstream media outlets and could be on the news someday. I think it will be, Jojo. I'm very convinced it will be one day. When? Who knows? Who knows? That could be a long future. But the fact that Marathon mine Casper, I mean, Marathon, I know you by mainstream you mean like Fox Business, CNBC, that sort of stuff. But Marathon have already addressed Casper to Forbes. So like you'll see probably through a big centralized entity like Marathon or whatever new entity comes to Casper at that point, probably then start talking about Casper. You won't necessarily have anyone Casper talking about it, and that makes sense because again, Casper is decentralized. There's no literal face of Casper. Of course, we do tend to idolize Tom Polinsky, Michael Sutton, Shai, Casper Door, all the people who are kind of Chris Hutchinson, Christian Ludwig, these people who are like deemed the central part of Casper. They're very devoted Casper members, but again, it's decentralized. They are by no means are they a face of Casper. We are all Casper. So you won't necessarily have a spokesperson speaking about Casper. Actually, funny enough, Wolfie would be the closest person to that. But Wolfie, and he did confirm this as well, he is deemed as the kind of the business guy, the head of listings for Casper. But again, Casper's not a company. But the problem is because this space becomes so centralized, nobody would really know who to talk to with Casper without that sort of title there. So he, out of the love of Casper, out of love of the project, and went out of his way spending his own money to go to these events and talk to these exchanges, and he gave himself the title so they can know who to talk to. But at the same time, Wolfie, anybody can be an ambassador, anybody can be the quote-unquote head of listings. Just speak of Casper word of mouth. It's decentralized. So into your regard, you'll see some people, probably centralized authorities like Marathon and those other people, talk about Casper one day. I'm very, very sure about that. When it gets, I think it'll be more so in the energy sector. I think you'll see Casper be mentioned in regards to its mining proficiency, how it's going to help benefit the energy markets. Because right now, Bitcoin mining is very unprofitable, and the Casper could be deemed the alternative to that, and potentially also benefit in energy supply as well. Because if its architecture, its block architecture allows for more efficient, cost-efficient mining. 10 cents incoming. It looks that way. It really, really does. We're at 9.79 cents right now, up 4%. If we reach 10 cents and surpass that, if we can surpass 10 cents, that'd be very, very strong. That's the definite key level of support and resistance for Kaspa around here. We could pass that, very, very good. If we can surpass 11 cents, this double top part here, that'd be even better. We can go past that. It'd be really, really good. I have to wait and see where it goes. But for me, as long as we hold above 9 cents, I'm optimistic, which we have kind of done right now. If we even hold above, 10 cents, that'd be even better. And for me, again, if you surpass 11 cents, that for me is a confirmation that we're going to be going through the next part of the rally and more bullish momentum for Kaspa. I don't understand why everybody is so excited about what Da Vinci said. He clearly said that he didn't see Kaspa going to $1-2 in this cycle. For me, it's not positive. I mean, it depends on your outlook. For me, Da Vinci Jeremy hated Kaspa. He loathed it. He flooded it. Every single opportunity he had, he flooded Kaspa. Hated it. He never acknowledged it for anything. He argued with Shy. Which, I mean, everybody can argue with Shy. It's not hard to do that, I guess. But he hated Kaspa in every sense. And now, while he's still got his dig at Kaspa saying it's not going to do well this cycle, he's now said it's going to do well in the future. He went from being 100% hate Kaspa to, okay, there's a 2% chance now I like Kaspa. It's going to do good in the future. So he's accepted now. He's accepted Kaspa. And again, Da Vinci Jeremy is just I'm highlighting him as a Bitcoin maximalist. I highlight him as a Bitcoin maximalist. I'm not highlighting him as the focal point we should all listen to. Because I don't think he's, a messiah either. He's someone who got in early at Bitcoin and has used that to help, drive his channel up, which is fantastic for him. I mean, technically speaking, we're doing that with Kaspa here. When Kaspa blows up, we're going to be here earlier with Kaspa and have the same sort of benefit that Da Vinci did. Hopefully, still continuing our molds and, still on the strive finding more information and the truth and not being blinded. Although I don't think we're being blinded by Kaspa at all, to be honest. But no, Da Vinci Jeremy went from anti-Kaspa to not really that fond of Kaspa, but that's still a benefit. And there's a lot of Bitcoin maxis who have shared similar, if not even more, bullish sentiment of Kaspa. They're going to switch to Kaspa. Him saying unlikely for $1-2, that's a very common consensus right now in the whole community. It's not Da Vinci Jeremy just saying that. A lot of people right now believe that. If we were to only reach let's just say only 50 cents a cycle, still a 5x from here. It's not too bad. I still think that's quite bearish, but again, we can debate that until death do us part. We've had a very, very strong run this cycle, technically speaking, already. Seeing over 57% since this founding is very, very good. Of course, since the bull cycle, it's not been fantastic, but done very, very well. And then, I still think it's a good possibility we can all go a lot higher anyways. Because again, it depends on the sort of catalyst coming to Kaspa and the adoption, and also where the market for Bitcoin is, and when we see it again, it's all a matter of timing right now. The earlier the cycle top, probably the lower Kaspa will go to. But again, there's a possibility the cycle top's not going to be until Q4. We might get the early signs in Q3, but it won't actually start topping into Q4. Maybe even later than that. Some people are saying we're not going to get a 4-year cycle, therefore we're going to keep going up and up and up. Play reaction to the market, have to wait and see. But again, I'm not using Da Vinci Jeremy as a focal point to say, I'm using his snippet, his video, his short as just saying he now believes in Kaspa. Has some form of belief in Kaspa as opposed to him being anti-Kaspa, which is bullish. Interesting you mentioned energy companies. Yeah, very, very interesting. I haven't seen the NDA yet, brother. I did effect your FM request, and I'm happy to, witness what you've got going at any time. But energy companies are going to be absolutely massive for Kaspa. I think Kaspa is going to be the integral factor in energy going forward, which is one of the most profitable and valuable markets, alongside supply chain, cross-border payments, and public sector, and there's another one as well that I'm forgetting. But Kaspa again is going to be in a very strong position in that regard as well. Exactly, we are all Kaspa. Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of people right now have the belief that Son Polinsky is the founder of Kaspa. He is the founder of Kaspa, but he's not the sole person there. You've got Michael Sutton, you've got Shai, you've got Mike Zack, you've got many people who worked on Kaspa. But while they are the founding members of Kaspa, they are not the CEOs. They're people who just had a belief, developed Kaspa, and it's for a community project for everybody. It's decentralized, very decentralized. What's up, John Doe? But doing very, very well. Welcome back to the channel. Saludos de Lazareto. I cannot speak that language. Try my best. I hope you appreciate that. I try my best. Welcome back, Vendor Bird. You're doing very, very well. You're taking Da Vinci's word too seriously. Yeah, he called Bitcoin, but now lacks integrity, shields a project and pays him. I mean, again, I am not touching on the morals of anybody in particular. I'm just stating when we blow up with Kaspa on this channel, I promise to stick true to my morals. And if I do end up shitting stuff in the future because I actually truly believe in, although belief in Kaspa is as easy as it is, so I doubt it'll be many in that regard. But yeah, Da Vinci Jeremy, he is a figurehead in the community of content creation and Bitcoin because he was early to calling it, but it doesn't mean he's always right. All I'm trying to indicate from what he's saying there is that he used to say, I hate Kaspa, or he kept saying Kaspa can never do what Bitcoin is. And he still says that, but he used to be completely anti-Kaspa, saying it's going to go to zero. It could be another Bitcoin failure, and now he's saying to do well in the future. So he's changed that narrative. That in itself is already a good thing. It's not quite finished yet. If you want to see what I have so far, I'll send them over. Hey, whenever you're ready, Tony, man. Again, I'm not by any means trying to rush you. I want to see, in full, in all its glory, I'm very interested to see what it is. So if you want to send it to me when it's all done, then by all means do that. Take your time, man. We got time. I'm very, very interested either way. So, keep it up, brother. I'm very, what you're doing, while I have no idea, I can speculate, and I feel like it's going to be huge for what it's going to be, especially with regards to Kaspa as well. I saw an interesting video where someone explained that this cycle will extend to Q1, Q2 because the Fed is late with QE and rate cuts. That's the thing. I've seen similar sort of sources saying that this cycle could potentially top later on because there's so many macro factors and other factors, and also the fact of being the regulatory frameworks. Those are going to come through like around August time. Do you think institutions are only going to want to start pumping their bags for 3 months or 2 months? August, September, October, November, December. 3, 4, 5 months. They may want to have a 6, 7, 8 month cycle. Again, speculative. But macro, with Fed cutting rates late, could be a good factor. Equally, the tariffs could play a factor into it as well. We have to wait and see. But also the regulatory frameworks. You may see institutions want to start pumping the markets, not just for 3, 4 months, maybe for 5, 6, 7, 8 months. Therefore, potentially a Q1, Q2 top. We have to wait and see again. It's still early. Still very early. But that's why I've stated time and time again, I'm not making price predictions, not because I don't have beliefs of where things can go, because I do have my own predictions, but I'm playing reactionary to the markets. I'm not going to say, for example, $3 Kaspa, and if it reaches $3, I'm taking my whole bag out, because there's a chance it may surpass that. And that's just me giving an example. I'm not saying it goes past $3. Don't take that literally. The point being is we have no idea where the cycle's going to top, so we're playing reactionary to the market, so we can be ready for whatever comes. Crescendo in 71 hours. Indeed. Countdown is close almost exactly. It's 3 days now. Less than 3 days remaining until the Crescendo hard fork activation. People have asked me if I am going to be going live, doing a watch party for Crescendo. I have seen already on Twitter, the blockchain banter group, I think that's like Chris Hutchinson and them lot, are doing a watch party with Crescendo. And I could very well do it myself. If you guys want me to do a watch party with Crescendo, I will do. But otherwise, I'll probably just do my stream at normal time and just cover what's been coming out with Crescendo as well. I mean, it's going to be a historical time, no doubt. But I'm not expecting anything. If something happens, I'll be jumping with joy. But I don't expect anything drastic to happen around 10 bps. I'll just be sitting there with popcorn and kind of just watching the counter go down type thing. I might also join the watch party with Coach Hutchinson. Who knows? If you guys want me to do one, I will. Just let me know. But otherwise, then I'm not, I'm not particularly. I'm also happy just to do it, a few hours after. The stream would go live about 3 or 4 hours after Crescendo activation. Fed is not cutting rates, but guys, EU, China, Japan, all printing money right now. We can get a rally even without US printing. Maybe late cuts. Better for supporting bull run. Yes, so actually I did watch Plan K's video about it, and my video later today is going to be talking about that as well. But basically, because the dollar index has come, the value of the dollar has come down so massively, it's come down to lows not seen since 2022. It's come back a little bit now. Because it's come down so low, it's allowed other nations like China, Japan, Europe, and them lot to basically afford to loosen their monetary policies without affecting the exchange rate too badly. So they can afford to then start printing money without it damaging their currency themselves. So that's why the M2 is so high. That's why the Fed has not really needed to cut rates so far. And with the favourable job data as well, they probably won't do it this month. But there's always a possibility we see it next month. You have to wait and see again what the inflation data states as well. But, things are looking up right now. And yes, when the Fed starts cutting rates, 'cause I think it will happen in the cycle, you'll see a massive blow off top and a lot more money in the market, I'm sure. Any Kaspa side events at Bitcoin conference in Vegas? I am unsure, actually. I'm unsure. I haven't heard anything, so I'm going to probably say no. I know that Kaspa are attending the Token 49 event in Dubai with the likes of Tangem and many other notable figures in there as well. So I know Kaspa are attending, or people from Kaspa are attending an event right now. I think Johnny's there, but I don't think they're attending the one in Vegas. But I might be wrong. I haven't heard anything about it though. I'm not clued in at least. Do you think the Binance listing will have an impact on the price? 100%. 100%. Kaspa is only a $2.5 billion market cap. It's a very small market cap. If you're something like, well, in fact, it's insane that anyways, even the big assets, you've had a bigger assets as well who've had, the tier 1 listings that have also caused a big impact on the price. While the cycle is going away from FOMO and hype to utility, it still will have an effect on the price, and Kaspa's still got a small market cap, therefore it will have a big effect on the price. It just matters the matter of timing again. When they list a project will be an important factor for Kaspa momentum, and equally more factors as well. But it will have a big impact on the price, no doubt. We speculate this wallet here, number 2, is the Binance wallet. It's got over 713 million Kaspa, almost $70 million worth of Kaspa. Stacking more and more and more. We might see more, or we're probably going to see more before Crescendo, and even after that as well. People speculate we're going to see a listing very soon. I'm not holding my breath, but I think this wallet, from my understanding right now, their average is around here, 13-ish cents. So it's a possibility you might see them, if the market starts going through a rally, let's say going into May, June time, and it's confirmation of a bullish breakout again, and the average of Kaspa is above 13 cents, that could be the indicator for Wallet 2 if it is Binance to list a project. And then that will cause a much more FOMO to come through as well. And you'll probably see a lot of people trying to take profits, but for me, Kaspa's going to go a lot higher from there as well. Holders right now doing well, 523,000 addresses, very, very good to see. The hash rate equally is staying strong around 1 extra hash. Still, lackluster from where far cry from its 1.5, back at the beginning of the year. But I'm sure it will turn to that in due time. There are more miners coming out from the ISO and Bitmain. They'll be released and available, I think, next couple of weeks or so. I'm not entirely sure. I've not bought the miners, of course, but I've heard this should be coming out soon. And 10 BS is going to be a very big thing. Right now, you can see we're looking at over 99%, and now on the new version. So, it's pretty much 100% right now. And those include the likes of Binance, who are also on it. Binance Pool right there, and equally Marathon as well. And many, many more well-renowned mining protocols. As Christian Lubbock highlights here, he highlighted on the 21st of April, the last time global liquidity surged in 23, Kaspa became the world's highest getting asset of the year. Will 2025 be different? And we can see right now the update since he mentioned that, Kaspa has followed actually along very accurately to a prediction. So again, that's not saying it's going to jump leaps and bounds. It may not follow exactly. He's got it right now saying Kaspa's going to, reach these sort of crazy heights of, well, he's got it even here peaking around $4.5. Again, that's not outlandish in the grand scheme of things, but it's still a high price target. But we are seeing, again, Kaspa starting to rally in regards to the M2 supply going up and other factors as well. So Kaspa could, in that regard, do very, very well. It's a matter of timing. We'll have to just wait and see what's coming to it. Very important macro news still to come out. This one here is the big one. There's more macro news and other very important factors in the VIP group. If you want to find out more about that sort of stuff and what they mean and what it means for the market, check out the VIP group again, linked down below in the description, on my homepage here as well. 7-day free trial. We'll be doing our weekly live stream again on Sunday, covering more of the alpha institutional documents and stuff that have been leaking recently, but in more detail, and the bigger ones are also in there as well. And yeah, Kaspa again is looking strong, looking very, very strong. Even Tao's looking strong right now as well, which is great to see for the AI sector as well. AI being a very, very undervalued factor right now. I think it's going to be very big going forward. I see Tao very easily surpassing 1K. I think Alex Becker also has something similar. Alex Becker said that Tau could surpass 15 billion, which would put Tau, that'd be almost 5x from here. That'd be a 1.5k sort of price target, which would be absolutely insane for Tau if that's the case. And I don't think that's outlandish either. 15 billion market is not high at all. AI is still very, very undervalued. We're going to see a lot more AI agents coming out the cycle as well. Things are looking strong. Very, very strong indeed. So if you have any more questions, feel free to ask them right now. If not, then I might be wrapping the stream up a little bit earlier today because I do have to get ready to go to this business meeting that has to involve me leaving my house. I don't leave my house very often. I do enjoy doing so, but sometimes I just like staying indoors. I'm sure everyone has those days where I just enjoy staying indoors, just kind of chilling and doing what you want, not having to focus on. My social battery runs out very, very quickly. Very, very quickly normally, so but yeah, I mean, right now things are looking very, very good, and I am once more expecting a lot of big things to come out for Kaspa. Oh, actually, I think I didn't play this. One thing I did forget to play. This interview here is for XXIM, which is talking to Kaspador, where he confirms that we could end up seeing stuff like stablecoins coming up very, very soon. So very close to this part here, and then we'll probably wrap the stream for today.
And saying added 4 new OP codes: issue, chum, burn, and blacklist. This 4 OP codes allows be it Tether, be it Circle, be it whoever is deploying, whoever is issuing a stable coin to use these 4 OP codes to do the same on Casplex. On Kaspa, sorry.
I see.
And this is why I said, depending on them, because I know Kef is in connection with, in discussion with some stablecoin issuers, and they had different calls. I believe you know this. They had different calls, and some of them said, okay, we can wait for those OP codes, or others were saying, no, we want to have the smart contracts. So the key message here is that Casplex now offers, prior to any L2 mainnet release, Casplex is offering the possibility for stablecoin issuers to issue their stables on Kaspa using the 4 new OP codes.
And this is not for layer 2? Is that what you're saying?
This is, as I was saying, KRC20 by itself is a layer 2.
Right. I see it.
So,
okay, I got it. Right. So if someone wanted to come, an issuer wanted to come, so stablecoin issuer, they can come and issue now, like today. They don't need to wait for layer 2 to be built.
Exactly. Not today, but on the 5th of May, because the new OP codes are...
Right.
The new... Yeah.
I see. And I got it, right? I think these are the 4 OP codes with the stablecoin issue would need. So I think burning, minting, I think redeeming, or there might be one more that they need to...
Blacklisting,
right.
Blacklist.
Right. I see. So this is not the wrapped stablecoin path, because this is more of a native path for stablecoin issuers to issue their coins
directly on chain.
Though you'll have to bring them on, because typically I don't think the bigger stablecoin issuers come directly. It's okay if or someone might have to be in touch with them and to talk to them. But
they are already, yeah.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, that little snippet there from the XXIM interview with Kaspador. Shout out to Ankit. If I butchered the name, I apologize. But yeah, confirmation right there from Kaspador that there are stablecoin issuers who want to wait for smart contracts, and there are some who are happy with the ZK opcodes. And the KF have been in contact with major stablecoin issuers like USDC Circle, like USDT Tether, and more. So there's a possibility, therefore, with these opcodes going live on the 5th of May at Crescendo activation, you might see, not on the same day, I'd be very surprised if we do get that. That would be an absolute bombshell. Capital will most definitely rally if we get stablecoins on the day of activation, but we'll probably end up seeing stablecoins coming on Kaspa quite soon after. Those who are happy to use their opcodes will use that, and there'll be some who are still waiting for smart contracts as well, which will be coming out. Well, the EVM smart contract will be coming out probably a month or two afterwards. The native smart contract will be coming out Q3 time. maybe early Q4. Probably going to retest 13 cents next week. I'm optimistic we could do. You know, 13 cents could be a possibility we retest that next week if we get some more bullish news. Right now, if Bitcoin continues holding strong, if Bitcoin tests 100k and surpasses that, which I'd be surprised if it does, but if it does, then I think we could see Kaspa end up making a good rally as well. 13 cents would only be a 30% gain from here. Not too much to ask for. You know, since down at April, it'd be quite a big rally, but it still would be not too much to ask from here. So it's a possibility, and that also could incentivize more FOMO to Kaspa again, seeing the price go up, and therefore people starting to see like, oh, we're going to get a listing soon. Don't be emotional, be logical, wait for the confirmation, but price going up would be deemed as a good indicator for a listing coming soon. Time will tell, and the time will tell. That being said, that'll be for today's daily Kaspa and crypto live stream. Hope you all enjoyed. In my personal belief, there's a 6% chance of choppy market conditions due to the mixed job report into the FOMC meeting, at which point we'll either see a brief correction or continue sideways. The job report data was actually good. The unemployment percentage was the same, but that's because we saw, as I mentioned in my community as well, I mentioned it in my VIP group, as soon as it was announced, the unemployment data, we saw 40,000 more jobs created, which is very, very good. We're seeing employment continue trending upwards in healthcare, transportation, warehousing, financial activities, and social assistances. The reason unemployment is the same is because the federal government the federal government employment has declined. So once more, a sign that Trump is sacking off the people who are working in the government, but it's getting more jobs out in the economy. So for the retail side of things, at least, that's actually good news. But I see where you're coming from right now. I do expect, the markets may start consolidating a little bit. The M2 does look like the M2 also suggests something similar. We'll see, the market kind of chops sideways for a little bit. Bitcoin's a little bit ahead of the M2 right now, but you see it kind of chops sideways for around, a 96k give or take for, a bit of May, and then going into the end of May, into June, we start seeing a massive rally, which we get some regulatory frameworks coming around the time as well, or some form of big catalyst as well. That could be a big thing as well. So we could see Bitcoin chopping sideways for the next few days. FOMC meeting. If we get positive inflation data on the 30th of May, we could see, that also indicates that Jerome Powell is going to start issuing rate cuts potentially soon again. We'll have to wait and see. More time will tell. I think that we're going to see a hard fork act as how Bitcoin halving did the 4 days following the halving. Bitcoin rallied 20%, potentially. Although I'm not too optimistic about that. I think it's a very big deal, no doubt. I'm open-minded about all of it, but I'm kind of just, I'm waiting on the play. I'm holding my Kaspa, my cold wallet win, and see what's going to happen. And for me, there might be a pump around Crescendo, not a big one, but the big ones will come after smart contracts and adoption, and stablecoins and adoption, and the listings. Come June, if you see the anticipated rate cuts, we could finally see run ignite again. It was mixed due to the small GDP dip. Yes, it was dipped due to small GDP dip, but at the same time, because and that's why you're saying the mixed, confliction, because the jobs are actually higher, but GDP is down lower. So if anything, actually, that's good news, because it means that we're not going to a recession. That's fantastic news, but it is again conflicting. Because you'd like to think if we're going to a recession, you see jobs going down. But right now, we're seeing the opposite. So it's prevented more negative downtrends, that's for sure. So maybe more chopping sideways is possible. I agree, Bengo. Including the lag in M2, yes, and yes, but yes, all depends on the Fed stance. Yeah, the Fed hold the cards right now, ultimately. So let's see what they do. But that being said, if you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like, show your friends, subscribe for more. If you want to know more about crypto and Kaspa, check out the free Discord server. Also, the video we played from Charles Schwab earlier is in there as well from Cody. You should check that out. Equally, the VIP with more detail there as well. Link up below in the description, homepage as well. Have a great day, good evening, and good night, everybody. Love you all, and I will see you all